Hi everyone, I am back for book club number 9 for my lovely book that I'm reading through, Manifest 7 Steps to Living Your Best Life by Roxie Nafousi. Now, this is a book club series that I'm doing. So if anyone is watching this for the first time, I'm reading through this book and putting in a few comments of my own. And we're now on step 5, page 101. So if this is the first one that you're looking for this, I strongly suggest that you start back at session 1 and go through in order, because that's going to make a lot more sense to you. Once you've been through in order, you can dip in and out of different sections as you need a reminder, or you want to go over or refresh some part for yourself. But it will make more sense if you start at the beginning, and the link to the full series will be in the description box below, as will how you can buy your own copy of this lovely book and how you can get in contact and follow the author Roxie Nafousi. Now, just a reminder, I am doing this particular book because I think manifesting is really, really important to all of us. And it's something that I incorporate into my daily routine, or certainly my weekly routine, and have done for years. And I find it absolutely invaluable. So I've been having fun. This book has been a really, really good reminder for me to go back, put in some steps that I perhaps have missed out or skipped over in the past. And I'm really, really enjoying it. So last week, based on last week's session, I actually went back and added some stuff to my vision board, which is over there. So I've got my trusted assistant, Coco the cat, on the sofa there. And the camera angle, I must just say, there's a few people, feng shui experts, pointing out the beam above me. Don't worry, I'm not actually sitting in below the beam. It's just the way the camera angle shows it. And I've got my nettles drying in the background, so you're going to hear more about that on other videos, and lots of my herbs that I'm growing. So shall we begin? I would really encourage all of you to get your own copy of this book, because as I've said before, it's a really lovely book. It's the type of book that I just flick in and out of, and it's got sections in the book where you can actually, go through and fill out little bits, reminders, complete some of the exercise in the books. It almost becomes like a journal in itself. Love my Be Happy mug. So let us begin. So this time, I'll put my glasses on for this. So this time, I am starting on page 101, which is step 5, embrace gratitude without caveats. A grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. Unknown author. Back in the introduction to this book, I explained that different emotions have different vibrational frequencies. Emotions such as shame, anger, jealousy, and guilt all have low vibrational frequency. On the other hand, emotions such as joy, happiness, love, peace, contentment, and appreciation all have a high vibrational frequency. The universe does not really hear out our thoughts. It responds to the frequencies that those thoughts create. We attract what we feel. When I first learned that our emotions had the power to shape our reality, I instinctively knew just how true it was. I started to recall countless occasions when I had experienced low vibe emotions, such as anger, sadness, and despair. And as a result, I have manifested negative situations into my life. In fact, although I didn't admit this to myself at the time, I constantly manifested negative situations into my life to support my belief that I was unworthy and that life was unfair. I would play out worst case scenarios in my head. And then when they happened in real life, I would say, I knew this was going to happen. For example, when I was 22, I left my first 9-to-5 job working at Diego and decided to set up something on my own. I'd always known that I wanted to help empower women, so I thought perhaps I should use my love of fashion to help women present themselves in a way that made them feel their most confident. So I decided to try and become a fashion stylist. I started to approach potential clients, basically my friends and acquaintances, to ask if I could help revamp their wardrobes. But whenever I reached out to them, I heard my inner voice saying, They're never going to say yes because they know you're not good enough. Then when they reply politely declining my offer, the voice would say, I told you so. Suffice to say that my career as a stylist never took off. And in 2 years, I only managed to acquire one single paying client before I decided to give it up altogether. The sole reason for this lay in my own lack of self-worth and the constant attachment to low vibe emotions that were holding me back. I simply didn't have the self-belief or the fearlessness to take action or to move forward when faced with obstacles. This is just one example, but in truth, I spent an entire decade searching for evidence that I was a failure who was destined for unhappiness. Now, I can see I was responsible for keeping myself trapped in that stagnant space for so long. The power to manifest had always been in me, but I've been using it in the wrong direction. Gosh, that night's a bit bright. How many of us can identify with that? I certainly can. And it's quite amusing when you look at it. And what I would say is, if that resonates with any of you now, don't worry about it, because if you can manifest what you don't want, then you can embrace that. And it's very, very easy to turn it around to manifest what you do want. Can you think of a time when you've been angry, jealous, or fearful, and then you've manifested something negative into your life? Or have you ever had one of those mornings when you've woken up late and felt tired and grouchy? You wake up in that flat, low vibe mood and you just can't shake it. You sit down for breakfast and you spill your coffee everywhere. You leave the house, halfway to the station, you remember that you've left your phone at home. So you go back to get it and you miss your train. You then get a text from your friend cancelling a meetup later that you've been looking forward to. You just have one of those days where you literally say, oh, it's just one of those days. If you really think about it, do you believe it's a coincidence that all those things so often happen in succession like that? Recently, I was feeling angry with myself about a mistake I'd made at work. And as I walked out of the room, I stubbed my toe on the door. I actually laughed to myself. It felt like a little message from the universe that said, hey, don't forget, I'm always watching you. Our vibe matters. I'm laughing because that resonates with me so much. I've done things like that. And it's lovely when we get these little reminders that kick us back into place. When I first understood the power that we have, not only to draw abundance to us, but to attract negativity to us too, I panicked. Perhaps you're reading this and panicking a little too. You might be thinking, does that mean every time I feel angry, I'll attract something bad to me? Or the days I wake up feeling that something terrible, or the days I wake up flat, something terrible will happen to me? I can't be expected to be high vibe all the time, can I? No, of course you can't be expected to. And it's important that we do give ourselves a space to feel, validate, and accept and honor the full spectrum of emotions. So what do we do when we feel overwhelmed with low vibe feeling? We use gratitude. Gratitude is defined as a feeling of appreciation, and this feeling has an extremely high vibrational frequency. Gratitude is one of the most powerful emotional tools we have at our disposal, and when we understand how to practice it, we can use it to instantly pull ourselves out of any low vibe experience, to change our state, to shift our vibration, and to completely unleash the abundance of the universe. On a day where we feel flat, low, angry, jealous, resentful, or fearful, we can turn to gratitude to help us. We can take a moment to pause, to find stillness, and to then cultivate and embrace gratitude to override any low vibe emotion we're experiencing. The 3 categories of gratitude. Gratitude for self. These are the things that you can appreciate about yourself, e.g., I'm grateful for my strength, I'm grateful for my health, I'm grateful for my mind. The second one is gratitude for your life. These are the things in your life you appreciate. For example, I'm grateful for my job, I'm grateful for my family and friends, I'm grateful for where I live. And the third one is gratitude for the world. These are the things you feel grateful for that are universal for us all. For example, I'm grateful for the sunshine. I'm grateful for connection. I'm grateful for the ability to travel and experience new cultures. You can use these three categories to help guide you in practicing and cultivating gratitude into your life. Note, some days you might find that in the midst of a particular intense feeling of fear, sadness, or anger, you are unable to feel gratitude for yourself or for the things in your life. That is why I've laid out three categories of gratitude for you, so you can always find something that you can feel grateful for. If you're struggling to feel grateful for your own life today, focus on your gratitude for something universal. Just remember, there is always something to be grateful for if you take the time to focus on it. Now, one thing that I've started incorporating into my life over the last couple of years has worked absolute wonders for me personally, is the moment I wake up or that I'm consciously aware that I'm awake, I lie there in bed and I list all the things in my head that I'm grateful for. I don't write it in a journal necessarily, but I go through it all. So my first waking thoughts are focused on gratitude. And this is such a habit I do now. It instantly puts you in that right mindset to start off your day. One of the other things I'm going to be talking about moving forward is morning and evening routines. And I think for me personally, that's a game changer. But starting your day, you don't even have to move, you don't even have to open your eyes, but the moment you're consciously aware that you're awake, just to go over all the things that you're grateful for. And I know I've said before, normally Coco, who's on the couch behind me, normally when I wake up in the morning, she's normally asleep on the bed with me or often on my pillow or my head. So the first thing I'm normally grateful for is having a cat on my bed, just to give you something that works for me. When we feel grateful for the little things we currently have, we feel content, present, and at peace. We raise our vibe instantly. Let me show you. Take a second now to think of one thing you feel truly grateful for. Think about it, visualize it clearly, and allow the feeling of gratitude to really throw through your body. Hope you're all doing that. Do you notice how, when you think about something that you're truly grateful for, your body physically shifts? Your muscles start to relax. You may begin to smile unconsciously and you feel immediately calmer. About a month after I first discovered manifesting, I came across Dr. Joe Dispenza. Well, you all know how much I love Dr. Joe Dispenza, so I'm smiling already. I heard him speak on a podcast with Gwyneth Paltrow, and as soon as it had finished, I typed his name into YouTube and sat listening intently to him talk in countless videos. I found his knowledge and his passion so insightful and so inspiring, but there was one finding he shared that really stuck with me. One that influenced my own manifesting journey from that moment on. Studies have found that in just 4 days, transforming your fear to gratitude, appreciation, and kindness for just 10 minutes a day, 3 times a day, can strengthen your immune system by 50%. How incredible is that? Replacing your fears and doubts with gratitude can actually change your physiology, change the behavior of your cells, shift your vibrational frequency, and even help to protect you against disease. This was a massive wake-up call for me. It was scientific evidence of the incredible power of our minds, the power that we have to change our reality. And it was evidence of the immense power of gratitude. This is what manifesting really became to me from that moment, the joining of science and wisdom. The understanding that we can use our minds to shift our energy, to raise our vibrational frequency, and then change our reality. And gratitude was very much at the core of it. In that moment, it all started to make sense. I look back at my own journey and my own behavior up until then. If I was honest with myself, I had never embraced true gratitude. I was always complaining about what I didn't have, looking at others, wishing I had what they had, or waiting for something or someone to come into my life and magically make me happy. Perhaps you know what I mean. How many times have you thought, I'll be happy when? Or if I had what they had, then I'd be happy. This pattern of thinking is so limiting because it keeps us locked in a scarcity mindset. It sends a message to the universe that says, my life is lacking, or I don't have enough. And that is what the universe will continue to give you. Lack, sorry, pages stuck together. Lack and scarcity. But it limits you in another way too. Waiting for something or someone to make you feel a certain way gives away your own inner power. It prevents you from taking responsibility for your own happiness. To manifest, we have to first understand that we are the curators, the architects, and the conductors of our lives and our destiny. How relevant is that? You know, and most people watching my channel, we've had lots of discussions over the last 2 years about what might be happening on a global scale and a more local scale, what we think the agenda is behind things. But when we really take responsibility for our own lives, yes, we can be aware of what's going on, but we can also be very happy no matter what goes, no matter what's happening. So I think I'm going to read that again. To manifest, we have to first understand that we are the curators, the architects, and the conductors of our own lives and our own destiny. And in my opinion, and in Roxie's opinion, the more each of us really takes on that mantle and really looks and works on our own selves, the whole vibration of the universe shifts and of humanity shifts. So it's worth it, folks. It's so worth it. At the time, though, if you'd have asked me, are you a grateful person? I would have said, yes, absolutely. I really believe that I was. But then I would say things like, I know I'm lucky in so many ways, but if I was in a relationship, I'd be so much happier. I was always attaching caveats to my gratitude. And this was what was preventing me from feeling and experiencing true gratitude. I began to realize that people sorry, I'm really struggling with my words today. I don't know why. I began to realize that people were almost always attaching caveats to their gratitude. They'd say something like, I love my house, but I can't wait to be somewhere with more space. Or I love my job, but it would be so much better if I was paid more. Or it's great I made some sales today, but I was hoping to have sold out by now. These caveats are attached so casually and automatically that most people are not even aware that they're using them. I started to ask myself why we always attach caveats to our gratitude. I believe that one of the reasons is because many of us hold a subconscious fear that if we are completely happy with what we have, then we won't ever strive for more. For example, if we have complete gratitude for our current salary, won't that stop us feeling motivated to work towards a promotion? Or if we are totally happy with the house we live in, doesn't that mean we will never end up experiencing life somewhere new? There's an underlying belief that true and full gratitude comes at the expense of drive, motivation, and our ability to progress. I'm here to remove that fear for you. True gratitude without caveats does not hold you back. It is, in fact, an integral part of your manifesting journey. You have to be clear in your vision and about where you want to go, while simultaneously being entirely grateful for all that you currently have. This is what I call the manifesting sweet spot. Now, for those of you that haven't yet bought your book, you can see in here, what I love is there's bold bits, there's bits in boxes, there's little exercises as you go through the book. So I really love that, because what it means is if you just want to pick it up and have a quick reminder, you can do that really easily and just look for those bits. I thought I'd tell you a little story of how I use this step myself to manifest my current home. When I had just discovered that I was 10 weeks pregnant with my son, I had no career, I was making very little money and I had no idea what I was going to do with my life. I had manifested meeting Wade a few months previously, but I was not prepared for what happened next, falling pregnant. I'd been living in a beautiful apartment, which I could no longer afford, and Wade and I had nowhere to go. My dad very kindly said we could live in his apartment in Waterloo. I walked into an extremely rundown flat, which had been left in a complete mess by the previous tenants, and I was immediately hit by this foul smell. The decor was the same as it was when it had been purchased over 22 years ago, but now there was a hole in the door, marks all over the walls, mold covering the tiles in the bathroom, and the shower did little more than dribble water. I thought, I'm 28 years old, having a baby with a man I met just 3 months ago, and this is nothing like the life I imagined for myself. Jobless, pregnant, and living in this neglected apartment. I wanted to manifest a glamorous life, I thought. This was not glamorous. I was a total brat about it all. I was always complaining about the space, and I would lie down, trying to imagine where I would be next, thinking that visualizing it would be enough to manifest it. I cringe now thinking back on it. So funny. I think we've all got periods in our life that we can look back on for that. So I love this honesty. Thanks, Roxie. But as time went on and my baby bump grew bigger, I started getting into nesting mode. So I redecorated the apartment slowly but surely, sold all the stuff I no longer had space for at car boot sales, and really started to make it a home, ready for Wolf's arrival. I began to like it more, but I was still saying to myself, this is good for now, I guess. I was trying to be grateful because I knew I should be, but I wasn't truly embracing it. Then the COVID-19 pandemic hit, and Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced that we must all now stay at home to save lives. The home I'd once resented moving into became my sanctuary. It became my home, my office, my gym, and my play area. I fell totally in love with it. Oh, I've got goosebumps. I had so much time to reflect, and as if a penny had dropped, I finally thought to myself, I am so lucky to have a roof over my head. I love the home I've made for my little family. I'm ridiculously fortunate to be living in an apartment that my dad worked so hard to buy. I'm genuinely so happy and content to be here. I meant it from the bottom of my heart. I felt immense gratitude fill me up. Then, on one of our many daily lockdown walks, Wade asked me, what does your dream home look like? I described an island kitchen with a double door fridge and marble worktops and a glorious bath to soak in. My dream home. The next day, I went on Instagram and saw a friend upload a video of herself working out in her new home with an island kitchen behind her. I messaged her and said, wow, your house is so beautiful. She replied a minute later saying, want to buy it? I jokingly replied, lol, how much? The timing had aligned in the most incredible way, and the flat, which should have been way out of my price range, was being hugely undersold at a figure I could actually afford. By now, I'd carved out my own career and I was working extremely hard, aka aligning my behavior and taking action. But I knew in my heart that it was my sincere gratitude for what I already had that had led me to manifest my dream home in a matter of just days. When you want to manifest something into your life, you must be clear in your vision, remove your fear and doubt, align your behavior and overcome tests from the universe, and then embrace gratitude without caveats for all you currently have. Allow that feeling of appreciation to shift your entire state of being. Feel the gratitude, raise your vibe, and keep you in an abundant mindset. The beauty of the world can only be experienced by someone who's willing to see it. If you're willing to see all the beauty and love and abundance that are already present in your life, you will effortlessly attract more beauty, more love, and more abundance to you. To live in an attitude of gratitude, we must cultivate it so that it becomes part of our essence. We must practice it over and over again in order to begin to rewire our neurological pathways so that we automatically focus on all the good in our lives rather than the bad. If you do this, you will change your natural state, redirect your attention to abundance, and allow your manifesting process to become effortless. Remember that where attention goes, energy flows. So focus on what is good, and more good will come to you. Here are some things you can do to cultivate and embrace gratitude without caveats. So the next section is on journaling, and it goes through some tips that we can all do to embrace gratitude. But I'm going to finish it there for today because I think there's a lot to talk for us to all focus on. I would really encourage, and I'm going to do this myself, to really spend some time now, really truly embracing all the things that I'm really grateful for, and then looking at what I want to manifest and making sure I'm being really clear in that vision only when I've got to a place of unconditional gratitude for what I've already got. So I really hope you've enjoyed that session today. Please do let me know what you think in the comments. Please do share what's working for you, what's not working for you. Let's stick to that sharing what is working for you, because that's going to give a positive vibe all over for everyone and going to provide some really helpful tips for people. So gratitude is our focus for this week. We can all find something at one of those 3 levels that Roxie described to be grateful for. So have fun, and I will be back to cover the next section within the week. Thank you. Oh, I meant to say, if you're enjoying this, please do like, subscribe and share, because I've had so many people being unsubscribed from the channels. And so it's really, really important when you make a comment or you share it and you check that you're subscribed, it really does help. So I'm very grateful for everyone who does that. Thank you.